Superannuation is the only retirement plan for millions of Australians. If you've been watching this channel for a while now, I'm going to assume you've either built or are building a portfolio alongside of your superannuation. But whether you have or haven't, rolling over your super and the dangers behind it is something that almost nobody talks about. And if it is your only asset, it's something you should understand so you don't have to keep working until your late 80s. In this episode, I'm going to tell you, what does rolling over your super even mean? What are the dangers behind it? Why nobody's talking about it? And what you should be asking your financial advisor to avoid the dangers. My name's Iannuzzelli, and this is what school should have taught you.
Everything school should have taught you in one place. With a property portfolio of over 17 million and an accountancy firm of over 16,000 clients, as well as being an accountant to some of the wealthiest people in Australia, Jeremy Iannuzzelli will be sharing his lessons on everything school should have taught you so you can build the life you want.
Let's get straight into this episode today. Rolling over your superannuation is never spoken about, especially with your accountant or maybe with your financial advisor or your list of professionals around you. But what I've started to see, especially with clients, has been a lot more market fluctuations, and we've had things like the tariff wars go on between the US and the world, US and Europe, US and China, and it's been very interesting to see just how much our superannuations have fluctuated off the back of one word or many words many people have had to say. Now, this may have significant dangers for you, and this is where speaking with your financial advisor before you start to tangibilize losses becomes key to your ability of maintaining your wealth. But first, I'm actually going to explain what is rolling over your super. Now, again, if you have had, for argument's sake, an industry super fund and you've just established a self-managed super fund, you may be wanting to roll over your super from industry to self-manage, which means that the industry fund is essentially selling out all of your units, which is money that's been invested into whatever units they've decided to do, and then that money is now rolled over into your self-managed super fund bank account, essentially cashing out of one investment and putting it into cash at bank in your SMSF. You might be, for argument's sake, in pension phase, or you might be wanting to withdraw money because you're in preservation phase. Essentially, withdrawing money out of super is effectively acting as like a rollover. In this particular example, it is where you're cashing out your value of units in your super fund and extracting that as cash in your own hand. So again, whether it's you taking money out as money capital sitting in your own bank account, your preservation age, pension age, or you may have established a self-managed super fund and you're rolling money in to the self-managed super fund from your industry fund. That is when I'm talking about rolling out your superannuation. Now, what are the dangers behind it? Why is it so dangerous? You're probably asking. I'm just rolling over money from left to right. Well, if you've had a lot of market fluctuation, and we've seen that over the last 3 to 6 months, we've had Donald Trump on a tariff war with a lot of the European countries and a lot of the countries in the South Pacific, especially China, and that has really changed the way that our values are being represented inside our superannuation or other investments. 1 week it's up, 1 week it's down, the next fortnight we're humming, fortnight after that we're back down 10 to 12%. Now, if at that time you're looking to move money over from your industry fund to a self-managed, or you're looking to withdraw money from your industry fund into your own personal bank account as a withdrawal at preservation age or pension phase, that is you essentially locking in the price of your super at the time of the withdrawal. So if your super was at $200,000 and it's gone down to 170 for argument's sake, you have now rolled that money from your industry super fund to your self-manage, you're effectively crystallizing that $30,000 loss. Because remember, it was at $200,000 before you rolled it over. So these are the things you need to think about, and that is why it's so dangerous. So many people are caught up in the hype of either withdrawing their money at preservation or pension phase. They want to spend it. They want to buy that caravan. Maybe they've got a wedding to pay for, and it's at the time that they need to take that money out of super. Unfortunately, again, they're locking in that loss or gain, and hopefully it's a gain for many people. But for my clients that I've seen, especially during all these tariff wars that have been going on, and they've been establishing self-managed super funds and wanting to roll money over, I had to slow them down. I had to say, guys, stop. What are we doing here? Are we really thinking, is this the right time to be rolling over the money? Should you be having a chat with a financial planner? Should you be reconsidering rolling over that money just now? Because, hey, your super's gone from 270 down to 230. If you're going to roll over a large chunk of that money, you've now crystallized that loss. So this is where it's important that the professionals around you need to not necessarily give you the advice, because no one's going to know exactly what the future holds, but slow you down so you can think, so you can actually understand what you're doing and what this actually means. Now, in a majority of the cases, the clients actually went back and had a little bit of a think, looked at the market, spoke to their financial planner and decided to wait. And lo and behold, them waiting actually gave them an extra $30,000 or $40,000 worth of additional superannuation that they could roll over, which could then go to the assets of their choice. So don't be a bull. Don't just rush out of the gate and start, withdrawing money the day you can start to withdraw money out of superannuation based on your age. Or you might be in pension phase. You've just opened up a self-managed super fund. You've got this sparkly brand new entity. You're all gung-ho. You're ready to invest in, shares or cryptocurrency. You've got your property. You've spoken to the broker. Hold off. Have a bit of a think. Have a look at what the market is doing, because you could be able to collect some really good gains by waiting a couple of weeks, or the risk and the opposite can occur. You could be making some losses. Now, what some clients do, and again, I'm not saying this is financial advice, and I stress that you should be chatting with a financial planner, but what some clients do if they are in a position where they know they're wanting to move their money into a self-managed super fund in the very near future, or could have already established it and they're just waiting for the rollover, they will look at the way their super fund's invested. So again, in your industry super fund or retail super fund, you do have an opportunity to change the way that your money is invested. That is for the current pool and balance that you've got, as well as any future contributions. You can put it on a very moderate to low risk or very high risk, international, overseas, direct Australian shares, property, bonds. There's various different ways to kind of have your money invested. And what I've seen from some clients is they will actually moderate their risk level within super at that time, so it's not subject to any market fluctuations, especially with what's going on with all the tariff and trade wars. And that is a way that they can reliably estimate what level of balance they can put into super without having the risk of their money going down at a time when they really need it. This is where you've got dangers of rolling money out of your industry super fund or withdrawing money out of your super fund prematurely, and you really need to consider where that money's sitting in the market at the time that you're thinking to take it out. So these are the questions that you really need to be asking your financial advisor or advisors around you. Is this the right time in the market for me to withdraw my funds? Again, whether I'm preservation age or at pension phase, or I'm looking to roll over my money from industry super to self-manage. Is this the right time in the market? Do we foresee any issues in the horizon? Am I prematurely doing this? Should I be waiting a little bit longer? Should I hedge my risk? Should I hedge my bets? Should I maybe only roll over a small amount and maybe use like a dollar cost averaging method? Should I just continue to hold it in there for a little bit longer? Should I actually be converting a large portion of my fund, for argument's sake, into a little bit more of a moderate risk profile, very low risk profile? And that way, yes, I'm not getting extreme levels of growth, but I'm also on the right path to make sure I'm ready to move my money when I need to. So I stress you really need to make sure that you're thinking about what you're doing, speaking to that financial advisor or financial planner, getting a good understanding of the market from either them or your other advisors around you. And then that way you can confidently start to roll money out of super, whether again it's a withdrawal or a rollover into self-managed super, and you can do it with confidence. If you've liked this content of this show and you're listening to us on iTunes and Spotify, don't forget to hit like or subscribe. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and I look forward to providing you more content in the following weeks. I'm Jeremy Iannuzzelli, and that's what school should have taught you.